Hello Jubes, nice for tuning in again for this brand new video. So, you probably clicked on this video to learn about the new method to one-tap a T4 blaze with only an ink wand or any high one-shot damage weapon like a ink wand, like I said, and a mitre staff. This works because we're abusing the dominant sweep ability from the Crimson Armor. Yes, you need a full set of Crimson Armor and you need a Soul's Rebound because there's a exponential growth going on between them. So what you essentially do is you make it so you Soul's Rebound one blaze, you get the other blaze, you make sure that you hit the blaze with the ink wand or the mitre staff with a 10 stack dominus. So the dominus sweep goes onto the Soul's Rebounder blaze that gets turned into a critical hit and as a separate dominus sweep. So you have exponential growth in there because you start off with a 7 mil damage hit and then you start seeing bigger hits like 200 mil, 1.5 bill, and after that you get into the limit and you can even go as far as a few trillion. I myself tried it and I got a 33.7 trillion hit and I'm now on the leaderboard of highest critical damage. So you have two different ways to actually do it. You have a way with a sheep bed and you have a way to do it with a G-drag. The G-drag has way less setup time and it's easier to do, but the sheep bet is more accessible for early game or early mid-game players that don't have that big of a budget. But there's one downside because you need to swap from a Crimson Helmet to Wither Goggles to make it so you can get the most damage out of your ink wand. But we'll get to that later when I show how to actually do it. So let's dive into what you actually need. So the armor setup you need is full Crimson. Like I said, if you're only using a G-drag, but if you use a sheep bet, you need Wither Goggles or Shadow Goggles with full Crimson. For the reforges you need for the Talisman and armor, if you don't have a G-drag, I would recommend using Necrotic on your helmet, leggings and boots, and Loving on your chestplate for the extra little bit of ability damage. And if you have a G-drag, you can just do full Renowned because you will deal enough damage anyway. And weapon based, I would recommend using a ink wand or a mitre staff, but to actually kill the blazes you can use a fire veil or you can use a Yeti sword if you would like to. So let's just get into how to actually one-tap it with a sheep bed. Let's just get into the video. So what I do here is I essentially get my 10 stack dominance up. After that I swap to my Wither Goggles. I make sure to grapple them all again, shoot them all. Keep in mind, shoot the one that's going to spawn your boss third with the Soul's Rebound. After that, sword swap from your ink wand to another damage item and done. So as you see in the video, this might take a lot of practice to actually pull off, but it's possible and will save you time, money, and it will make you be able to make bangs. Duplex is worth 17 mil, you can drop dices, you can drop Scorched Power Crystals. This layer literally prints money for you. And this method makes it accessible for players who don't have a big budget, so that's really nice. Now let's get into how to actually do it with a G-drag. So as I said before, this method is a bit easier. So I'll grapple the blaze, get my 10 stack dominus and shoot them all. Keep in mind, shoot the one that's going to spawn your boss first. After that, shoot the rest, use your ink wand, swap to a damage weapon and wait, and done. That's how easy it is. So as you've seen in the video, this method is way easier, takes way less time to set up, and it's way less practice to actually pull off. But there's one downside because it's only actually good for players that have a high level and a G-drag with 1 bill bank. The reason for this being is the last perk of the G-drag with the bank scaling. It makes it so it deals more damage per million you have in your bank. So the damage scaling of your Crimson stack actually multiplies by that amount. So that's why you need less blazes and less damage to actually start off with. So yeah, this is how to one-tap a T4 blaze with an ink wand. without even touching the Guerrilla Tactics ability. And yes, this also works with a high, but there's a small difference with it. So if you would like to see me make a guide on how to do it with an Hyperion, leave it in the comments below. Next to that, please consider subscribing to my channel, because it gives me more motivation to find these bugs for everyone that need it. I hope you all learned something of this video, and thank you all so much for watching. See you all later.